Hello there, my name is Ahmed Hussein and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will show you how to install Spring Boot on Eclipse and create your very first Spring Boot project. But before that, let's quickly understand what Spring Boot is. Spring Boot is a framework built on top of the Spring framework. It makes it easy to create a Java applications, especially web applications, APIs, and microservices. It removes a lot of manual configuration by providing auto configuration. It comes with an embedded servers like Tomcat, Jetty, and Undertow. So you don't need to deploy your app separately. By default, Spring Boot uses Tomcat as a default embedded server. In short, Spring Boot lets you create production-ready Java applications quickly with less setup and configurations. So let's get started. So what we have to do first in our Eclipse IDE in order to get the Spring tools installed in our IDE, we will have to go for help in the menu bar and we will have to find Eclipse Marketplace and we have to write down Spring and gonna hit enter and we will find the Spring Tools as known as the Spring Tools Suite. This is the one that I need to install in my IDE. I already installed it. You can go ahead and press install and you can follow the agreements and accept the agreements of this tool and you will find it installed already in your Eclipse IDE. After that, I have to start to create my first project. I will go to create a project, a new window will show up and I will find a Spring Boot in the menu and I will press on Spring Starter Project and will click Next. And I will find the new menu and I have to fill these fields in order to create my first project. So my project name, I already wrote down Basic Spring Server and in the group I will only write com.spring.addo. You can write down whatever you want. And in the artifacts, the similar thing, you can write down whatever you want. In the version, you can put down the version that you want. And you can write down the description, describing your project, what are you doing. And in the package name, I will choose to write com.spring.webserver because I'm going to demonstrate creating a basic web server using Spring Boot in Java. And I'm going to hit next. Right here, I will need to create a web server. So I will look for web and I will scroll down, press on web, and I will select Spring. As you can see, you will find a description for the tool. You'll find build a web including RESTful applications using Spring MVC, uses Apache Tomcat as the default embedded container. So Tomcat will become our default server. I will press next and I'll press finish and I will wait. All right, so the project has been created and if I press on my basic Spring server and press on src/main/java, I will find my package name. And when I press on the package, I will find my basic Spring server application.java. So after creating our first project in Spring Boot in our Eclipse IDE, there is an important step that we have to follow after creating the project. We simply have to right click on our project name and we have to go to Maven and we have to update our project and just we press OK and that's it. All right. Right now, we have already created our first Spring Boot project in our Eclipse IDE. Now, let's add our first endpoint using get mapping. This annotation tells Spring Boot that this method should handle HTTP GET requests. GET requests are the most common type of web requests. For example, when you open a web page in your browser, it's actually sending a GET request. Here, when someone goes to your website or your IP address or your local host in the browser, Spring Boot will run this method and return whatever we put inside. How are we going to do that? Simple. Inside our controller, we have to define get mapping, and we have to include our endpoint, for example, slash for root directory, and I will create a method. I'm gonna public string, and I'm gonna name it root. There is no parameter required, and I will just return string welcome message. Say welcome to my page. Don't forget to include get mapping annotation between your packages, imported between your packages. And now I have to make an important step is to right click on my project and go to Maven and then update project. After updating my project, I can run my server. How to run your server in Spring Boot? You can press on your project, right click, and go to Run as Spring Boot app. Let me show you the console so you can see what's going on here. This is my console, and let me make it visible in my OBS. So this is my console running right now, and my server is running. I can go to my browser now and visit my local host and my port to see if my code is running or not. Let me test that out, and let me show you the page in my OBS. And you can see when I visit my website, you can see the page that loaded with my message that I included in my server. Welcome to my page, which I already wrote down in my function. And that's it. This is how to run Spring Boot in your Eclipse IDE, and how to create your first controller, and how to run your server.